Hey, welcome everybody. I am here today with Representative Michelle Caldier, who is the uh, 26th Legislative District position number two, right? Two, I got it right. Number two position. She is the incumbent, and she is running. This will be like your third time,
Fourth.
fourth. So this is the fourth time you've been through the mill. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to thank you for your service and everything that you've done for the 26th. And for those of you that are just joining us today, I've got other candidate interviews for this general election coming up, as well as the primary election interviews for some of these candidates that participated last time. So if you want to go back and watch some of their answers on some different questions, you're welcome to do that. Those are available on our YouTube channel for the Port Orchard Chamber of Commerce. Go in and check those out. And then I guess without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So just to start right out, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe why you got into this umpteen years ago, and maybe why you continue to come back, and why you think you're the best person to represent the people of the 26th district.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. I am the state representative for the 26th Legislative District, which is West Bremerton, Port Orchard, Gig Harbor, and Key Peninsula area. I have served now for 6 years, and I'm seeking another 2-year term. Prior to becoming in the legislature, I was a nursing home dentist, a foster mother, and also taught as an affiliate professor at the University of Washington. I came down to Olympia as a citizen to advocate on behalf of my nursing home patients, and I learned that one person could make a difference, which inspired me to run for office. I am a Republican, and I am in a very steep minority. However, I am one of the top Republicans for getting bills passed as well as amendments accepted, and this is due to my good working relationships with all 4 caucuses as well as my hard work ethic. I have an open door policy and look forward to your questions, Matt, as well as any other questions that people may have. Thank you so much.
All right, super. So we'll just go ahead and jump in with both feet then. So what do you see as the most important challenges facing the state, and how would you propose to address them?
So the biggest challenge that we have as a state is how to move our state forward in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have a huge revenue shortfall that now, with Boeing's 787 production moving out of state, we have a whole lot of problems with making sure that we can sustain our budget and doing that in a fiscally sound way, not increasing taxes, and enabling businesses to stay afloat during this time. Some businesses have been adversely affected more than others. We have tech industries, Microsoft and Amazon are actually doing quite well during the pandemic. However, most of our hospitality, most of our restaurants are really suffering. Our hotels are suffering. And so some industries have been disproportionately affected. We need to figure out what we can do to preserve those industries and those businesses and turning our state around.
All right, so thank you for that. So that last part of your question, your answer there is going to come back at you here towards the end. But and then of course the first part. I mean, you touched on some of the questions. I tried not to make the questions overlap this time, but one of the big things, so basically the next question is as much a statement as it is a question. We have B&O taxes, we have gas taxes, we have excise taxes, we have sales taxes, we have federal income taxes, capital gains taxes, payroll taxes, property taxes, emission taxes, road mileage taxes. There seems to be a tax on just about everything, Michelle. Are there solutions other than taxes available to address the budget shortfall? And what would be your preferred method for dealing with that?
So during times of that we had revenue growth, One of the things that the majority party did was increase taxes even more, increasing the B&O tax. And there were a lot of new programs that were implemented on July 1st, as well as a lot of salary increases. And one of those salary increases was for the governor and all of the elected officials. And this came at a time when we had a record number of people filing for unemployment that were unable to get the unemployment that they should have been getting because of the problems within that agency. We should have gone back to special session. We should have put a pause on many of those new programs that were implemented and putting a pause on many of the salary increases that were just recently passed. Elected official salaries should have never have gone up. So that would have addressed the revenue shortfall that we are currently facing. And I think that until we have the revenue to sustain these new programs, the easiest thing would be to put a pause on them. So that would be one of the first methods that I would be looking at. The other piece too is looking at getting people back to work. And once we can get people back to work, that means that our caseloads will decrease, and therefore the number of people who need state services will decrease, and so our expenditures will also go down. So those are two key pieces that we need to do to turn our state around. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's interesting. I was on a call earlier this morning, and it was announced that, according to whatever sources this was, the unemployment rate right now in Washington State is 8.4%. It was a little over 4 when all of this kicked in. So, and it was as high as 15 when the stuff was really hitting the fan. So I think we're recovering. And a lot of the employers that I talk to, one of their biggest things is actually finding employees, people that want to work. So, at some point that'll kind of have to be addressed also. But it is encouraging that the economy is coming back, just not quite as fast as some people needed to come back. So the next question is totally a separate subject, kind of. One issue facing local businesses is finding an adequately trained workforce. Education funding is too often left to levies and not adequately funded at the state level. What ideas do you have to update our school funding, and how would you implement these changes?
Thank you for that question. Actually, that making sure that schools were not reliant on levies, that was the whole genesis with the McCleary. And one of the things that our state did was it changed the funding formula. It also increased the amount that the state was providing so that and then put a cap on the local levy dollars. And for South Kitsap School District in particular, we had a very high rate to begin with. And that rate was brought down, it was capped. However, last year, what the majority Democrat Party did was that they went back on the negotiations, the bipartisan negotiations that were done, and they jacked up the amount of the local levy dollars to the tune of $1 per $1,000 of assessed value for the property for the South Kitsap folks. So that was extremely frustrating because I believe that we're going to be looking at McCleary 2 right now, that our education system is not meeting the needs of students, especially with remote learning. And we need to be really focused on what is it we can do for the students, and also what is it we can do to train an adequate workforce, and focusing on getting kids so that they are ready for the workforce. And I'm also part of the West Sound Tech Advisory Committee. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and making sure that the coursework that we have for students will help them be prepared for the future. So thank you.
All right. So, gosh, it's almost like you can read my mind, because the next question that kind of dovetails into into your response, your last part there. Um, what responsibility does state or the federal government have to provide a quality education for students from kindergarten through college, not just K through 12? And what should government, beyond the school boards, play a role in the development and implementation of local school curriculum?
So, um, so the hard part with the state is that one size does not fit all. And we have 295 school districts in our state. Some school districts are very small. They only have maybe 7 people and 7 students that they're teaching in the school district. So you have, close to as many school board members as you do students. And then you also have Seattle School District, which has over 50,000 students. And the needs that each school district has is different. So when it comes down to a statewide mandate of certain curriculum, you have to take those things into consideration. I do support local control. However, at the same time, we also need to make sure that the curriculum makes sense and that you are preparing the students for the jobs that are available in their community, as well as flexibility for other types of jobs throughout the state.
Okay, super. Then I see you haven't broken out into a sweat yet, so my questions must not have been that difficult. But this last question is the only real COVID question that I have. And beyond direct financial support, like the grants, like the Washington Department of Commerce has given money out. The CARES funding has dumped millions of dollars into the local government, which has been passed on to local businesses. Is there anything else, any other support? Again, I'm not just talking throwing money at it. Any other support that local government can provide, or any policies or anything it can do to help local businesses and assist local businesses in their recovery from COVID-19?
Yes, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that we need to do is look at the taxes that we're putting on and the burdens that we're putting on um, local local businesses. As I said before, some industries were disproportionately affected. Quite honestly, the industries that are doing well, I say, let's let them continue on the path that they're going on. However, for the industries where they have been disproportionately affected, I think that we need to either give them a rebate for the taxes that they're paid, or allow them a lower tax threshold to help them get through this time. And also to look at other ways that we can, maybe uh, relieve the burdens that we're placing on them. For example, with daycare settings, that some of the new requirements with the pandemic have made it so that that many of these businesses are not able to thrive. They're only able to maybe take 3 children when before they were able to take 5. And we need to figure out, really look at those policies and find out, are these policies really reducing the rate of COVID, or is there some way that we can modify their home so that they can take 5 children instead of the 3? And I think that a lot of businesses are struggling to comply with the governor's new policy changes and still be able to make overhead. And I think restaurant industry is a perfect example of that, because the overhead is so high for restaurants that they're really struggling to keep afloat during this time.
All right, thank you for that answer. So at this point, if you want to, this is the opportunity for you to wrap things up. Tell us anything else you want to talk about, and then we'll let you go. I really appreciate you being here.
Well, absolutely. I have a proven track record of working across the aisle and finding out, getting real solutions to getting things done. It's really sad what our political climate has turned into, and I think over the next couple weeks, it's going to get worse, especially on a federal level. I have maintained being very civil throughout this entire process, and unfortunately, I know that there's a lot of negativity that is going to be dumped, a lot of money that's going to be dumped into the 26th district on attack ads. Um, I have an open door policy, like I said before. Please feel free to give me a call. My phone number is 360-981-8683. I'm happy to talk anytime about any issue, or you can email me at michelle@michellecaldier.com, and I will personally respond to your email. I've been honored to serve this district and work for you for the last 6 years. I'd be honored to serve another term. And I look forward to, any future questions or communication that you might have. Thank you.
I thank you. And I know that you're active on Facebook because I've interacted with you and interacted with some of your other followers. So you're on Facebook. And how about, do you have a website too?
Yes, it's www.michellecaldier.com, and it's Michelle and Caldier.
All right, outstanding. So thank you. I want to thank everybody that made it this far through the video, and I want to remind everybody that there is an opportunity to see other candidate videos. I would encourage you at this point. We are a couple weeks away from the election. Everybody should be getting their ballots in the mail any day now. If you do have a question, if you are on the fence, take an opportunity to reach out to any of the candidates. Michelle gave you her phone number. Give her a call, and I'm sure that she'd be happy to answer any question that you have. Michelle, thank you for joining us today. As usual, it's a pleasure, and good luck. 2.5, 3 weeks to go or whatever. You'll be able to sleep through the night again, and not have to worry about this. And hopefully, we'll see you again next year.
Okay, thank you.